One of my absolute favorite things to do is get lost in a good thriller. I'm talking about those edge of your seat, stay up way too late, page turning kind of stories. There's something about the suspense and not knowing what's coming next that completely pulls me in. For me, reading isn't just entertaining, it's grounding. It challenges your thinking, expands your perspective, and sometimes getting wrapped up in the literary world simply gives you the perfect escape from the noise of everyday life. It's the love of stories that draws me to one of my most treasured places. This is a bookstore and book bug. Located in Kalamazoo, this place is pure magic. It's warm, welcoming, and filled with a real sense of community. I've spent hours there discovering books I didn't even know I needed. It's the kind of place where you might bump into a friend, get an amazing recommendation from someone on staff, and somehow walk out with a stack of books you didn't plan to buy with many reasons to come back soon. Shopping there is nothing like buying from a big online retailer. When you support This is a Bookstore and BookBug, you're investing in something real, local, and personal. You're part of keeping independent bookstores alive, and that matters. The best part, you don't have to live in Kalamazoo to experience it. You can order online at bookbugkalamazoo.com or call them at 269 385 2847. If you're ordering for a school, they're fantastic at tracking down hard to find titles and can help build a classroom library tailored to your students or subject. And if you're placing a large order, whether it's one title or multiple, ask for Book Bug Bulk to receive a discount. I guarantee you'll enjoy your visit to This is a Bookstore and Book Bug. And when you do, be sure to tell them who sent you. Now, on with the show.
This is Lessons We Forgot, and this episode is called The GOAT. There is plenty of debate by everyone from the talking heads at ESPN to my buddies sitting around a campfire to our own students here at school when it comes to the GOAT arguments in many different sports. If you're not a sports person, that just means the greatest of all time. Basketball tends to get the most conversation. Young kids just can't believe that anyone was ever better than their current favorite player. Not too long ago, LeBron James would have garnered a lot of attention in that category due to his plethora of skills on the court, and he continues to be a frontrunner today. Michael Jordan, on the other hand, has been a favorite since his incredibly perfect run in the NBA Finals during his career. Still others like Bill Russell and his sheer domination of the sport in his own era, or Kobe Bryant with his Mamba mentality, will always have their supporters in the debate. In football, however, there really isn't much discussion. Tom Brady's GOAT status is hardly ever questioned. He's won more Super Bowls, Super Bowl MVPs, and playoff games than any other player. He was selected to the Pro Bowl 15 times. He led the league in passing 4 times, won the league MVP 3 times, and was the Offensive Player of the Year twice. Oh, and he won Comeback Player of the Year in 2009 after an injury in his previous season. He's been so successful for so long that he has won the Super Bowl in 3 different decades. So things must have been pretty easy for Tom, right? No doubt someone probably spotted his talent at a very young age and he was fast-tracked to success. Then it was all smooth sailing, with Tom barely even breaking a sweat. Of course, that's not true. Professional athletes, like the rest of us, need to work really hard for what they have and for what they accomplish. Sure, we all have a different amount of talent at our disposal, but that was actually something Tom lacked early in his career. At the beginning of his college football career at the University of Michigan, he was as low as 6th on the QB depth chart. He barely played his first few years, and his first pass was intercepted and returned for a touchdown by the other team. Then, when he did become the starter, he still had to battle even to play. He nearly lost his job to a very talented freshman his senior year, though he eventually won the starting spot. His pro career began just as underwhelmingly. He was drafted 199th in the 6th round of the NFL draft and was forecasted as a career backup player. Then, the starting quarterback of the New England Patriots, the team that drafted him, was injured, forcing Tom into the game. After that, he became the regular starter, won his first Super Bowl, and Tom never looked back. Legends are defined by their successes, but usually they're also defined by how they come back from their failures. Similarly to Tom, my first few years teaching were a mess. Students complained about the pace of my class. I had a hard time keeping track of all the meetings I was supposed to attend. Parents objected to how my class was structured, and I even messed up while proctoring our state standardized test. Let's just say I was a real Tom Brady early in my career. I can feel a few of you nodding your heads right now. Whether this is your first year teaching, your first year teaching something new, or if you left all that behind decades ago, we can all relate to struggling to find our feet as teachers. Veteran teachers will tell you, though, eventually you figure it out, and then the game starts to slow down for you. You eventually find your stride. Tom Brady played most of his career on the same team, but he did have success when he went somewhere new. Many of you have also moved to different districts, switched schools, changed grades, taught different subjects, or took on new responsibilities. All of this takes time to adjust to, and setbacks are bound to happen anytime you do something for the first time. Because of their overall impact on their teams, quarterbacks are particularly prone to criticism and second guessing from people who don't fully understand what they do. Despite all his success, Tom Brady received his fair share of comments from the peanut gallery during his career. Instead of letting it get to him, he used the doubters as motivation to maintain the high standards he set for himself. While we don't do our jobs in front of millions of people each week, we definitely deal with our fair share of criticism. We know that it's good to get constructive feedback from time to time, but all too often we hear from people who don't entirely understand what we do, or who are only concerned with a very small piece of the overall picture. It's really important for us to consider the source of the criticism when we receive it, which is just as important as the message they're trying to send. Professional athletes are people too. Sometimes we forget that they have to perform on the biggest stages even after suffering personal loss and tragedy. They have to deal with family issues, and they have to go through all the normal ups and downs that the rest of us deal with. And so do we. We have to show up to work even when things in our lives are not going perfectly as planned, often through no fault of our own. We have to perform when we have suffered loss and tragedy. We have to go through all of the normal ups and downs, just like everyone else. And we're people too. We love to root for or against the biggest sports stars. And in most cases who are not Tom Brady, many of us love to argue about who is the GOAT. Legends in any field are defined by their successes, but usually they're also defined by how they come back from their failures. We forget that failures part way too often. While we don't often debate the greatest of all time teacher, just know that whoever comes to mind when you think about your teaching version of the GOAT, they had to start out slow too. They had to learn from their mistakes. They had to overcome any number of obstacles, and they should be defined just as much by how they came back from their failures as they are from their successes. Thank you for listening to this episode of Lessons We Forgot. I'm the host, Chris Winkle. You can contact me at lessonsweforgot@gmail.com, and please do. I'd love to hear what you think about the show and any suggestions you might have. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend. That is the best way to help grow the podcast. If you want to hear more Lessons We Forgot, we post new episodes on Sunday nights. And when you like, rate, and subscribe to the show or leave a comment, that also helps the show reach new listeners. If you really hate ads like me, I do have a Patreon site, patreon.com/lessonsweforgot. For only $1 a month, you can get the show without ads. I'm offering a free trial right now, so go check it out and see if it's something you'd be interested in. Thanks again for your support.